Welcome to Mildly Spiraling. I'm your host, Tracy. Happy to have you here. Hello, and welcome to an episode of Mildly Spiraling. Episode 16. What's up, y'all? Do you hear that? Scratchy in the background. Maybe if you're watching the YouTube, you can see what's happening, but basically, my dog is trying to get comfortable behind me as I record. Oh, and she has settled right on time. Hello. Welcome. I'm going to start off with a spiral right off the bat, y'all. Happy Monday. Happy Tuesday. Happy Wednesday. Whenever you are tuning in. This is a spiral. There's currently a fly buzzing around in the room with me right now. I had the door to our backyard open for probably half a second, and that little fucker zoomed in so quickly, and now I cannot get it out no matter how much I try and whisk it towards the door. I cannot get that little guy out. And I just feel like this happens in the summer where you literally have the door open for maybe half a second and a fly zooms in and then it's there, and now it lives with us rent free. And it's driving me nuts because it was literally just buzzing around my head. And yeah, so that's starting off with the spiral. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Okay, I'm recording. The light just went out in the room. Hold on. There's something weird going on with a bunch of our lights, and they've all started losing, like all of the bulbs are going out at the same time, and it's like kind of freaking me out. I don't know, something's going on. Oh my god, I don't know. Let's hope this episode sounds okay, because obviously I'm starting off with some what is happening energy, right? Oh my god, okay. So, here we go. Let's go. Episode 16. What's up? Something is happening, and I'm sure it's happening to all of you that are listening. And if it's not, honestly, mark yourself safe from the dot craze of 2026. The dot cakes literally are all my Instagram is at this point. Yes, I am clicking them and watching them, so it is partially my fault. But I have never wanted a piece of cake more. But, like, I know it has to be a good piece of cake or it is not going to, like, satiate the craving. I might go and try and get a piece of cake today. It's not going to be a dot cake. I think if I have a dot cake, well, first of all, I haven't seen any vegan ones. But second of all, I will probably make it myself. I feel like they're kind of easy to make. But honestly, like, I have never been craving a piece of cake more than I am now. And I know that obviously the dot cakes are doing what they're doing. The marketing campaign for these dot cakes is out of control. I have never seen anything like it in my entire life. Well, I have, but you know. I actually talk about this kind of often, of the cycle of the popular dessert. Like, I feel like it started with cupcakes in the early 2000s. And then I feel like it was donuts, like artisanal donuts. And then I feel like it was cookies. And now I feel like we're at dot cakes and we're like cycling back. So like I feel like the next one will be some type of donut. I don't know, we'll see. Obviously, like, all of these desserts are amazing and great and yummy, but like I do feel like we are in a cycle. So like we're back at cupcake, right? Like, that's a dot cake, is a freaking cupcake. So we're back in the early 2000s, and then we're gonna go through. We're actually also at like 2000, like early 2000 styles in a way. So like I do feel like it's all kind of like cycling back. Yeah, so I got the iPhone 17. I got the upgrade. I can't remember what I had, but like I literally was running out of storage like every every time I tried to like screenshot something, or even like I would be like, oh my god, like Lavender and Spain are doing something cute, and I would like try to take a picture, and it was like you were out of storage, and I had literally deleted 75% of my text messages. So sorry if you didn't make the cut. Just, obviously they were old. I deleted like so many apps, like apps that I even used, and it was still telling me I was out of storage. So I was like, I have to get a new phone. This is driving me crazy. Also, because I like was recording videos on my phone and everything, and so I got the new 17. I do like it. Honestly, I don't notice a lot of differences. I got like a lot. I think I got like the most storage offers. So I shouldn't run out of storage. Who knows? But yeah, not seeing a lot of differences. I'm not like a person that needs to like get the new phone all the time. But yeah, I mean, so far at least I can like take pictures, and the quality I think is better. But yeah, I did not get the 17E. Don't worry. I know there's a lot of like crazy shit happening with that one. No, I got the regular 17 in the lavender color. Yeah. So I think something that I've like realized that I'm working on a little bit, and like I'm working on this, and I think it's like just such a hard thing to do, is like knowing when to stop. And I think that goes with like so many things in life, obviously. Like it can be a huge thing, it can be like a small thing. But just like with fertility and stuff, I am doing an egg retrieval, and this will be my only fertility update for today. Really, it's just like I'm doing an egg retrieval in August and October. We'll see how many embryos I get. I'm gonna do PGTA testing. And I don't know like what I'll do, and I could change my mind, but part of me is like I almost like am like, if I don't get any embryos out of that, I might call we might call it. I could change my mind. But I've just realized how much it's taken over my life, and I think that's okay in a way. But if I think, like, yeah, you think about it, and it's like I have been the last 7 months doing this, and I'm very tired, and that doesn't even that, and I'm the last 7 months doing IVF, egg retrievals, embryo transfers, and a year before that, so like almost like 2 years now trying to conceive. It's a lot, and a lot of living your life like you are pregnant when you're not. And that is really hard. I do feel like I've missed out on a lot of things over the last 2 years. And so, yeah, I think just like I am trying to figure out how to stop, when to stop, with different things too, like with the community garden, which I'll get into later. But yeah, so that's what I'm thinking about. And yeah, I actually do have one other update with that Tasha Lucky came through. By the way, that is like not her real name, but that she came through, and that my insurance is fixed. I have my 2 retrievals that I'm supposed to have back on my account, and that's all fixed. Because that was stressing me out. I was literally on the phone with insurance so much. Honestly, is this fucking fly buzzing around is probably so loud that it will be in the podcast. And I'm not happy about it, but there's literally nothing I can do about it. So I'm going nuts. I feel like flies drive me absolutely crazy. Oh my god. Also, I feel like I wasn't even gonna bring this up, but now I am. But like I think I said something really offensive on the last podcast because I lost a follower, y'all. And I'm just starting out. Like, I don't have a high enough follower account where I don't notice if someone unfollows me. So, like, I check my stats pretty frequently. And I lost a follower in the last week, which means that something I said on the last episode made someone hate me so much that they unfollowed my little small business podcast. It's not even a business. I'm like doing this for free, but yeah, that sucks. I don't know. I'd rather like just follow me and don't listen to them or something. Like, God, that stings a little bit. Yeah, I don't know. And if you're not following me yet, you could follow me and make up for that one person that decided to stop following me. Because my feelings were really hurt. But I'm not going to take it personally. I've been rejected a lot in this life. But yeah, that kind of sucked. So whatever. We did something really. I wasn't even going to talk about it because I was like, I'm going to be the bigger person. I'm going to be the bigger person. I'm going to be the bigger person. I'm obviously not the bigger person. Like, I never have said I would be the bigger person or whatever in life. Like, I'm fucking not. And so, yeah, I talked about it. Sorry. Okay, we did this thing in my poetry class. And here's a little treat. I think I might read a poetry. I think I might read one or two of my poems on the second to last and last episode of this season. So if you'd like to hear one, stay tuned for those episodes. But we did this thing in my poetry class last week, which was kind of interesting. And basically, we made 2 columns in our notebooks, and we wrote out our obsessions and our concerns. And I was like, wait, this is basically what I'm doing with the pod. I'm like curating a list of my loves and spirals. So like I'm curating a list of my obsessions and concerns. And so I did write down my obsessions and concerns in the class, but I was like, oh my God, I'm literally doing this in the pod. I'm like creating this little list of things. And a lot of times, like these are our impulses that we're concerned about or impulses that we're obsessed about. And like our poetry might tend to be about those things, even if we don't intend for that poem to be about that thing. And so I was just going to go through a couple of things that I wrote in my notebook on Thursday last week, my obsessions and my concerns. So here we go. Here are my obsessions. My dogs, astrology, my legs. I wrote this, I have no idea why I wrote my legs, but I do love my legs. They've done so much for me, and they continue to do so much for me. So, my legs, people's lives by looking in their trash, windows, etc. AKA making up stories about people by looking through what they're throwing away, whether that be a wine bottle, 15 cans of tuna, free-range eggs, a lot of wine bottles. What was the one? Oh, someone in my complex drinks Beck's non-alcoholic exclusively and a lot of it. It's, I don't know, just fun to do that. I love being a little bit creepy. Pistachio gelato, dancing alone, cherries, identity, Ireland, vulnerable conversations, Italy, reminiscing, reclaiming my time. Here are my concerns. The patriarchy, obviously. Fake bullshit, surface level bullshit, just bullshit in general. People that don't get up for others on the subway. The idea of fitting in, power dynamics, capitalism, authenticity, being true to myself. And I feel like those are all still true today. And I kind of love, like, just on a whim, I wrote things like, I'm obsessed with my legs because sometimes I don't give myself and my body enough credit for what it goes through and what it's been through and what it continues to do for me. So thank you so much for listening to that. I don't know, it's a fun exercise, honestly. Like, even if you're not writing poetry or you're not doing a podcast where you talk about stuff like that, it's kind of fun to just list what your concerns and your obsessions are. I don't know, it's just a fun little exercise to do and really see, like, you know, with my obsessions, like what comes up that you wouldn't necessarily even think would come up, but you're just listing stuff without thinking about it. And so you might write things down that you didn't even think you were obsessed with or you didn't even realize was a concern. I think I knew all of those things were concerned, but it was funny that I just kept writing like bullshit, bullshit, bullshit. Yeah, because I don't like that. It's a huge concern for me. So yeah, I'm gonna get into some of my loves this week. You know what? I'll just about. I was talking to Patrick earlier, and I was like, oh, I was talking to my therapist about this thing, and I was like, my hairdresser, because I got my hair, I got like a little trim, and then I got my roots dyed, and then I also did do an auburn gloss, but you literally can't tell. We only left it on for like 10 minutes, and then at the end we were like, oh, my hair is a little too dark for that, so next time we literally might just do straight copper it'll bring out a little bit more redness. I'm not sure, but I also feel like it's something I might do at home. I'm not sure. But yeah, I did that. But we were just chatting, and I think it made me realize that like my art taste is literally animals doing human things. Like, and I guess like the dogs, that famous painting, and I think it's done like a million times. This famous painting that's in Louvre of dogs playing poker, you know what I'm talking about, is really the start of this whole thing. But I don't particularly like love that painting, even though I know it's like fucking critically acclaimed. But I feel like it is like the start of this thing. But I like more like whimsical, like animals doing human-y type things. So like I love like a pigeon smoking a cigarette, or like a pigeon carrying a matcha, or like I have one where it's like bunnies sitting at this chic little cafe in Paris. It's like maybe they're like little rats eating pizza, or they're at the Knicks game. I don't know. I just think it's so fun. And I realized I was like, oh yeah, that's like, I just love little pieces, like bringing like little pieces like that into our house. And I just like look at it, it makes me smile. I just love that kind of thing. So I'm kind of obsessed with like animals doing little human things. I'll also just say, like, speaking of the Knicks, I think a lot of people are talking about this, but like New York City feels fucking electric right now, and I can't even describe it. And like I've been coming to New York since I was a kid. My dad was born in Manhattan, I've lived here for 2 years, but it just feels like the energy is on another level. Like just everyone seems kind of happy. I mean, and honestly, like, I've got, like, whatever. Obviously, I'm not always happy, but, like, people just seem happy, and you kind of puts you in a good mood. But it's just, like, yeah, like, we've got, like, our mayor, Mamdani, like, crime is down. We've got 2,000 more kids in 2K, which is, like, right after pre-K. We've got... Or no, is it pre-K? I don't know. But anyway, we've got just so many like programs going on. Like he's got basically like us out of the deficit, plus adding all of these amazing benefits to people. The Knicks are winning in this NBA final. I think the Liberty won last night. Like it's just like people are buzzing. Like I can't even really describe it. I feel like you have to be here to experience it. But yeah, like I just love getting my little gelato at 8 p.m. and walking around, and people are literally watching, like people like have their TVs plugged in, and then they've got it going through the window, so then everyone's just sitting outside or like stopping and watching like the Knicks game, and like just yeah, it seems just super genuine, and I'm very happy about it and loving it, and it's just really fun to be like a part of like an energy and like a community, because I do feel like a city is like an energy, it's like a pulse, and I think it's just so important. And that's gonna get me into like one of my spirals, really. So let's get into my spirals. But this is kind of my take on the obsession with AI as like someone that has felt like they lost community for the last 5 years. Like someone, I've very much like isolated myself to a point of like not wanting to leave the house at all. Like truly feel like I became a hermit. Didn't want to leave the house. Didn't even want to get my freaking DoorDash. Like, did not even want to have that level of interaction with the human. Basically was just on Zoom calls for work, and that was it. And now, like, I am slowly realizing that happiness is coming from, for me, is coming from human connection. And so I've been trying to, like, build a community, and I think it's really put me in touch with this, like, humanistic side and need to be with other people, and that is the human experience. And that's why I am so against AI. And I understand people saying, like, we need it. But we have gotten so far without it. And for me, it goes beyond the environmental impact, which is absolutely horrific, and we don't even know what it is yet. And I think that's, like, morally, it is very hard for me to use it. And when and if I have to, I do feel like I am crossing a line, morally, for me. But I've also realized that it does take away human interaction and connection with others, and I think community is literally the most important aspect of being a human. And I totally understand, like, isolating for periods of time and needing to get away into the woods and everything. But I think it's also really important that we don't lose community, because I think we lost it so much in the pandemic, and I think we're getting back into it. And I think that's part of the reason, like, New York feels super electric right now, is because everyone is, like, kind of coming together. And I don't know, there's just a sense of love and compassion that goes with that. And so I am really scared about AI. And it's not my whole personality, but it is something I think about. It's like you don't really get a choice to think about it or not. So, yeah, I think that is something that's making me spiral a lot. And so I think it's important to talk about. I think it's important to question. I think it's important to, even if you have to use it for work, because I do understand that, is to remember how important community is, and remember how important human basic needs are. People need jobs, people need shelter, people need food, people need happiness. It's not just getting by. Like, people need to actually, like, thrive and feel like they're working for a reason and for something bigger than themselves. And I truly believe that. And I think it can come through so many different ways in your lives, but I do think it's really important to have that. It creates happiness and it creates purpose, and I think both of those are really important in the human experience. So didn't mean to get super serious with the spiral, but that is true, and I'm going to take it back a little bit somewhere where I feel like community's not working for me, and that's the community garden. It's back on the list for the second week in a row. I gotta get out. So this is actually what kind of made me write down, like, knowing when to stop and knowing when to quit, is like, I think I have to quit this, because I am so uncomfortable. I have been called out so many times in the WhatsApp for not doing stuff right. Yesterday, literally was just sitting there for 3 hours and I couldn't leave. And I think it's just, like, not a good fit for me, and I'm gonna figure something else out to kind of get invested in a very small community of this little portion of where I live in Brooklyn. And so, yeah, that's a goal for me, but I do need to leave it. Yesterday was kind of weird, and it just made me realize, like, I think I realized basically, because this is, like, I spent so much of my life working, and I spent so much of my life doing medical things. So, like, I'm always at doctor's appointments, and I'm working a full-time job, and I have great outlets like my podcast and poetry and things like that. And it's like, so I don't want to spend my time doing something that makes me feel ick after, and I feel ick after. So I definitely I've got, I'm holding myself to it that I will write an email later today and resign. They can keep my money. I don't care. So yeah, the fly is still zooming around the house. We're 30 minutes into the pod, and it is zooming. But yeah, that's all I had this week. I hope you enjoyed this episode. There's only 3 more episodes of season 2, and I hope you'll tune into them. I'm gonna go on a summer break, so I'll be taking about a month and a half off of the podcast. Our first episode back will be August 3rd. So mark that in your calendars, y'all. But don't worry, we still have 3 more episodes. Like I said, I might share some of my poetry. I have 2 more classes left of that class. And then I honestly think I might take another one because I'm just enjoying it so much and it's really clicking for me. I love doing the podcast and I so appreciate every listen, every follow. It truly means so much to me, and I can't express that enough, honestly. It really, really does. So I so appreciate it. If you're here, you're still here, you're new, you've been here the whole time. It's amazing. Don't forget, you can be featured on the podcast. Send in your loves, send in your spirals, send in your obsessions, send in your concerns to mildlyspiralingpod@gmail.com. I'd love to hear from you. I'm excited for next week, and I can't wait to talk to you then. All right, love you. Bye. That's my podcast.